The Raptors get contributions across the board, a total team effort as they take down Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook, and the rest of the Washington Wizards. 137-115 is your final. The Raptors now improve to 12-13 on the season. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nightcap. Randy Urban alongside Jack Armstrong, Sherman Hamilton, and Paul Jones. How you doing tonight, fellas?
All good.
Doing great, Herbs.
Do I need a jacket? Like, you guys look good tonight.
It was one of the rare nights where we're all working at the same spot. So it's either a jacket or the cover charge.
Sorry.
The question is, will it help? Will it help?
Sherman, what'd you say? You never get full on sizzle?
Never been full on sizzle. Give me the steak, y'all.
Yeah, you're right about that. Jack, it felt like to me like it was a pickup game for a lot of the night out there. Raptors defense improved in that fourth quarter, but what did it feel like for you?
What it felt like was just a really professional win by one team that's better than the other. And they took a few shots here and there, but they always counterpunched. They were very relaxed and calm in their approach. And would you have 7 guys in double figures? It was just a good, steady win. And they made a lot of excellent plays. The ball moved. They got good shots. They shot it well. I thought their defense on Beal was exceptional. They played with energy. I thought it was just they punched the clock and got a road W that they needed to get against a team that they're better than.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of those situations where Washington, at 6-15 going into this game, if you're the Raptors, you don't look at the record, but you understand you got to stop 2 guys and you're pretty much going to be okay. And what we've seen the Raptors consistently do is they're able to lock in on the team's main scorers, and they're able to really make them work for their buckets. This game, Bradley Beal takes 20 shots to score 24 points. He's 8 of 20 from the floor. You've done a good job on the leading scorer in the league. So I just think that they've done a good job, whether it be the Kyrie Irvings, although we found out Kyrie had a hurt finger, the Steph Currys, the Chris Pauls, whomever it may be, the James Hardens. The Raptors have made it difficult for the primary scorer to get the job done. And that's something that they can continue to build on. If they can lock down the main scorers like that, they're going to give themselves a chance to win on most nights.
Jonesy, easy to look professional, though, against a team like the Wizards, as Sherm mentioned. Their record is not so great. There was a point in the first or second quarter where Russell Westbrook drove, missed the layup, and he's jogging back, like not even trying to get back on defense. I'm like, what kind of a team is this?
You know what though, Randy, and it's about looking after yourself. You're right. I mean, that's Westbrook's issue. But if you're the Raptors, you can only 1, play who's in front of you, and 2, control what you can about yourself. And my man Jack always talks about habits. And what you're trying to do now, if you're the Raptors, crawling out of the sub 500 hole from a record standpoint, is build consistent habits. And I thought they looked like the better team tonight. They played like the better team tonight. They were consistent. Guys, I think the role definition is becoming very, very clear on this team. And I think that's helping them. And it was just one of those workmanlike, as Jack said, punch the clock, one of those workmanlike efforts. And Randy, you can only play who's in front of you. Like that's Washington's issue. And if you're going to jog back on defense, we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to do what we do to put you in a compromising position so we come out with a win.
That's a great point about knowing their role and each player kind of contributing their role at the best of their ability. It really felt like that. And one guy that's just flourishing in this role, he's had great games for the last while, but Norman Powell is really settling into that player, Jack, that he was all season last year when he wasn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with great confidence right now, making all the plays. And to me, the thing I'm just really impressed with Sherm is the fact that his passing. And the other thing is what he does when he doesn't have the ball. I just think he sees the whole game now. He's a much more polished, mature, veteran player. He's a pro out there, and he can score in a lot of ways, but he knows he doesn't need it in his hands all the time. And he gets to the proper spots, and the ball finds him. And then he has success because he's put the time in.
Well, you think about Norm and what the Raptors do. They are great when they're in transition. They're a team that when they're forcing the pace, and we saw this early in the game, they become very difficult to deal with. And what does Norm do the best? He gets out and he scores. He gets ahead. They pitch the ball ahead. And Norm's always putting pressure on the defense. He's either getting into the guts of the defense and kicking it out. So now the defense is condensed, and now they can run their offense smoothly, or he's scoring at the rim. He's putting pressure on the paint. And this is what you miss when Norm's not in the lineup. And now he's balanced it out. He's shooting the three well. He's making good decisions in the half court. He's creating for teammates, and he's playing defense as well. So he's just in that sweet spot right now. You know, that place where players are, where everything's working. They're seeing it happen. They're not rushing things. Their shots are good. Their decision-making is right. He's in that spot right now, and he's been like that for the last, I'd say, 6 to 8 games.
Jonesy, he's really, really improved his composure on his gather, you know,
Yeah.
and he's taken the jump stop more often than he usually does. He's not getting into trouble in the air as often. It's really great to see.
You know, Norm's guy was Kobe Bryant. And I look at Norm, and, you know, we watch the evolution in his career of Kobe, how he got to a place where he understood what he could do. And he was never worried about anybody else. And I see Norm kind of, as Sherm said, this is 8 of 9 now where he's been 20 or more. And he just doesn't seem to worry. Like, as Jack said, the ball will find him. He's going to get his opportunities. He doesn't push. He doesn't make bad decisions. You know, he misses a few shots, not a big deal. I'll knock the next one down. I'll make a play at the other end. I'm still playing my defense. You've got this complete, calm player. You know, you don't see him out of control or taking, you know, bad forays to the basket or forcing things. You know, Sherm called it. He's kind of in that zone. He's a veteran now. He understands. He's not going to panic. It's a 4-quarter game. All right, things aren't going well here. There's lots of time to make it up. And pretty soon you look up, he's got 15, 18 points. He's a one-man fast break. He's making steals. He's rebounding. He just understood. He just understands now the way things are supposed to be.
Really set the tone there in that first quarter. And the Raptors did, Jack, as a team, 40 first quarter points. I think they kind of just allowed that to carry them. They knew what they could get offensively pretty much throughout the entire game. Who else stood out to you?
Well, you know, obviously people are always going to focus on the guys like Siakam and a Lowry. But Chris Boucher, I mean, he's on a tear right now. What do you have? 17 points, 16 rebounds, and
career high rebounds, Jack.
Yeah,
career
you know,
high.
so
Yeah.
It's interesting, Sherman, Jonesy, Randy. I look at him, and, you know, you always want to see this in a player because we all know success and failure are both imposters. And at the beginning of the year, he had great success. Then he had an 8-game stretch where he really struggled. And now you start finding out about a guy, you know, when they miss a few putts and, you know, does their game go to you-know-what, or do they come back? And I'm seeing a ball player now. I'm seeing a guy that's taking that next step now, that is kind of figuring out what his formula is for success. And he kind of knows his triggers that he needs, you know, like the little reminders, like, I got to do these things well tonight. And if I do, I'll be fine. Yeah, there'll be ups and downs along the way. But we are seeing now a guy taking a next step in his evolution as a professional athlete.
I really liked DeAndre Bembry. I think this guy is consistently showing the ability to impact the game on so many levels. And it's the low maintenance approach that he has. He's not the guy who's animated. He's very calm in his demeanor. His facial expressions are not off the chart and up and down. He just makes plays, and he does it on different levels, you know, defensively, offensively, scoring, passing the ball. He just has that feel appeal to the game. And I think in an understated way, he has significant impact in the way that this team operates since he's been given more minutes. And he's averaging around 20 minutes a game now. So I think he's really feeling comfortable, and he's doing a great job with his minutes that he's getting.
Yeah, so looking ahead, Boston tomorrow night. It comes fast and furious here in this 72 game shortened season. This will be the first look at the Celtics without, sort of the mainstays of Gasol and Ibaka down low. It'll be interesting, Jonesy, to see this one play out tomorrow.
Well, I think the Raptors are playing better. Look, it would be really nice to have OG Anunoby back in the lineup to guard Jason Tatum, a big
game
strong,
winners.
Yeah, big, strong perimeter defender, but you may not have him. But I like the way Toronto's playing right now. And as I said, Sherman talked about Bembry. Guys are starting to, in my eyes, guys are really starting to become comfortable in their roles. They're going to need Baines' rebounding. He laid the lumber on some guys, setting some great screens tonight to get people open. You're going to have to meet the force of Boston's team with some of your own force. And you've got Powell playing well. Van Vliet and Lowry, your perimeter guys are going to have to be good. But, I think Jason Tatum's a guy that they're going to have to center on and then keep guys like Tice, Robert Williams, keep some of these guys off the glass.
Go ahead, Jack. We got under a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to be real quick. I think the Raptors are a different team than the one that got blown out by the Celtics in Tampa. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this Raptor team now can do.
I'll just say this quickly. Forget about the Boston Celtics. Russell Westbrook as a teammate would be hard for me to play with because some nights I'd want to fight him and some nights I'd be like praising him for being the best player on the floor. But he's just one of those guys who's so talented that you almost want to fight when he walks back on defense and you want to call him out. You're going to have to fight him at some point. He's a guy who I think I'd have to fight a couple times, but still ball out with him.
So now, would you fight Randy? Because he plays that way sometimes, Sherman.
It's not a fight. It's not a fight with me and Randy.
I appreciate you guys. And my mistake, the Raptors have lost to the Celtics already this year. So let's hope they turn it around tomorrow night. I appreciate you guys doing this, Sherm. We'll talk after the show. See you later.
Wow. Let me put your jacket off.
Meet me outside. Meet me outside. Room 625.
Thanks for watching. You can click to watch our last episode or to subscribe to the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode.